This week, our castaway is the international operatic base, Boris Christoff. And Mr. Christoff, is the story of Robinson Crusoe read in your native Bulgaria?
I read this history in Bulgaria, surely, when I was child.
Have you ever imagined yourself as a Robinson Crusoe?
It was my wish to imagine myself in this occasion, but it's not coming, never.
What's the first record you've chosen out of the eight?
The first record, May we tried to play the Freischütz,
Freischütz.
and in a special way, the scene, the making of the magic bullet.
Ah, yes, that's a very exciting scene.
Exciting scene, and I want to tell you why it's important for me, this recording.
Yes, why do you choose it?
It was the first opera I heard ever. I'm going with my mother, and I heard this opera, and made to me so strong impression that at the end my mother was quite preoccupied of the exciting.
How old were you?
I've been maybe at 13,
Yes.
about 13, 12, 13 years old.
It's a good, exciting opera for a boy of 13. Let's listen to that scene. The end of the scene from Der Freischütz, where the magic bullet is cast, a recording conducted by Josef Keilbert. Whereabouts in Bulgaria were you born?
I'm born in Bulgaria, in Plovdiv.
What did you want to be when you were a boy?
My first idea, my first dream, it was to be a Navy engineer.
Yes.
I don't know why.
In fact, you graduated in law at the Sofia University.
That is the last one which I never supposed to be. The second dream is coming to be architect. And the last plan is coming to singing. But it was far away from my possibility and from my dream because it was impossible. For me to study singing, it was necessary to go in Italy and study them.
Now, you are a lawyer. Did you practice law?
I practice as judge, not as lawyer.
As a judge?
Yes. But 2-3 months, no more.
No more. Now, you had begun to sing, I believe, at that time, in the Alexander Nevsky Cathedral in the choir.
Yes, that is one of the best church we have in Bulgaria. And the chorus was the best choruses in Bulgaria.
Now, there was a story of a command performance which the cathedral choir gave for King Boris, and that performance had a very big effect on your life.
That is exactly. The occasion is coming for a national fest. I remember the date, 19th of January. I remember that the chorus sang. And the cold was Siberian.
Was it?
About 20 degrees under the zero. After the mass, the king invited the chorus to help him to have a little more restoration, to keep a little more.
To have a drink or two.
We have it also a drink.
Yes, of course.
And after he asked a very small concert for his house, for the diplomatic corpus who was there present. And by chance, I was invited to sing a solo song. He was pleased. He's coming to me and asks me what I prepare for the next season in the opera, because he was sure that I'm opera singer.
This was the king?
This was the king.
Yes.
I explained very shortly that I don't have nothing to do with the opera house. Then I will remember always, he told me, you can quietly left the judge career because we have many. Mm-hmm. In short time, is coming a letter which announced me that the Bulgarian government has decided for me to put me on the way if I desire to go to Italy and study them.
Well, that was a big decision to make. It needed some thinking over.
It was a big decision also in our family.
I'm sure
it was dramatical, very.
Well, in the meantime, while you're thinking it over, let's have your second record. What's that to be?
In a period of my life, I was very ill at home for 6-7 months. Now, in this time, I was preoccupied what to do in this long life in my home. Is coming to help me my father, who has had a friend provide with a wonderful gramophone, not like this we have now. I make it all the gymnastic to
yeah,
to
you
carry
had to turn the handle.
Yes.
Had to wind it up.
Exactly.
Yes.
And in this period, I have had the possibility to hear maybe all the most important singers in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first who made to me big impression was the singing of Totti Dal Monte,
Yes.
Tito Schipa, Fyodor Shaliapin, Tita Ruffo, and also my later teacher, Riccardo Stracciari. Now, to play each one of these recordings, we don't have time, naturally. And I please you, if you want to try the duet between Tito Schipa and Totti Dal Monte from La Sonnambula of Bellini, which I love it very much. And I should say that this recording is done in a very admirable way, really artistical way.
Tito Schipa and Totti Dal Monte singing a duet from La Sonnambula by Bellini. So off you went to Rome. Who did you study with?
I studied to Rome. I tried to study first of all in Milano, but the way was unhappy and I came back to Rome.
Who was your teacher?
My professor was only one, the Riccardo Stracciari.
But of course this was wartime and Italy was invaded. Now what did you do then?
I was obliged to left Italy, and I'm going to Bulgaria, where I find the king dead. All the situation completely different. In few months, 2 months, I think, I go to Salzburg.
Yes.
To another teacher, Italian, always. So, Bulgaria is coming on the side of Russia, England, United States, etc.
Yes.
I remain until the end of the war in Austria, and that point who is very close to Switzerland, Vorarlberg. And I remain there like a prisoner, not but
Yes.
as a worker in a camp.
You had suddenly become an enemy alien because...
Yes.
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 When were you liberated? Who liberated the camp?
I heard the last shot of the gun in this place in Vorarlberg where came the French army.
The French, yes.
When I come back to Italy, I am going immediately to Stracciari,
Your old professor.
my professor. He received me with a great humanity and opened his door and tell to me, Boris, please, I was sure you're dead. Please come to me. Yes, I will come, but I think I should go back to Bulgaria. Why? I don't have more money to pay to you, nor to leave, maybe. The answer was very simple. You should pay me later, when you begin to
The
sing,
money.
to have the money. And I asked him to start with my learning again, not only with opera and with exercise, but also with some songs. And he asked me if I have someone in my repertoire also of the Russian. Yes, and I am coming back to the area of Viking Guest. The Viking Guest of the opera Sadko by Rimsky-Korsakov, which made to me a great impression. Now, he loved this music, and he told me, when you start to make recordings, please do first that. It wasn't the first, maybe the second or the third. Everybody was enchanted of the results of this record, who won the first prize, I remember, the next year in Paris. May, in honor of that occasion, we have the possibility to hear him now.
Your own recording of the aria of the Viking Guest from Sadko by Rimsky-Korsakov.
Exactly.
When did you make your professional debut? When did you first sing and receive a fee for it?
I start my career in Italy. And for first time, I sang in a concert in Rome with the orchestra from the Accademia Santa Cecilia, the farewell of Wotan. The success was very good, encouraging. After 1-2 months, I was invited to sing the opera La Bohème by Puccini, and the role was Colin, the philosopher.
Now, you began to specialize in the Russian repertoire. Where did you first sing Boris Christoff? Where did you first sing the title role?
First of all, I sing Boris with a great conductor in Italian in Cagliari. Cagliari is the biggest city in Sardinia. The conductor was Tullio Serafin.
Ah.
Very well known
Oh, indeed,
everywhere.
yes.
And in special way in England and in America.
Where did you first sing the role in Russian?
Here to you.
At Covent Garden.
At
oh,
Covent
yes, of
Garden.
course. Now, it's a matter of history. It's coming back to me now. There was a little bit of an upset on your opening night. You didn't see eye to eye with your producer, Peter Brook.
Oh, yes, I remember this man. How? It's possible do not remember. Frankly, I was against his production.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a mistake because before me somebody else sang Boris Godunov. Otherwise, I'm sure that we together we should have the possibility to eliminate all that controversy.
How long ago was that?
That has been 19th of November 49.
30 years ago.
Exactly.
Yes. And, of course, your other great role at Covent Garden. When did you first sing King Philip in Don Carlos?
The first King Philip I sang again with Tullio Serafin in Florence and Maggio Fiorentino.
Mm.
And first, outside of Italy, I sang in Covent Garden. That was 8 years later.
Well, now I see that one of your list of records here is something from Don Carlos, so this seems a good place to put it in and play it. Which scene shall we have?
I think the great scene of Philip II, when he's alone, and when he sings, when he think about his own personal life as a man, not as a king.
A scene of your portrayal of the king in Don Carlos, which you've been playing recently, celebrating your 30th year at Covent Garden. Now, the other roles in your repertoire, which unfortunately we haven't seen in London, which are your favourites? Don Basilio, for example, you must have sung that countless times.
And that is one of the opera which I sing with pleasant allure, without any preoccupation.
Just for fun, as it were.
Yes, and I can tell that I'm really happy, and I enjoyed myself to the life in this opera.
You also sing another very different Rossini opera, which I'd love to see, which is never done over here, Moses.
Moses, yes, by Rossini. It's very important. I cannot say not. But it's not a real opera. It's more oratorium, because it's very static.
Mm-hmm.
But the music is really fantastic.
Let's have another record. What shall we have now?
We forgot, when I talk about my love to hear the music, we forgot the Caruso. And I think to put on the gramophone his wonderful aria from Pagliacci.
Enrico Caruso singing Vesti la Giubia from Pagliacci. Now, your home is in Italy. You're an Italian citizen. Now, do you go back to Bulgaria?
I'm going in Bulgaria from time to time.
Do you go back to sing?
No, I never sang in Bulgaria, in public.
But you have recorded there.
2 years ago, when I visit Bulgaria, is coming to me the director of the unique recordings firm in Bulgaria, the State's recording firm.
The state recording firm.
Yes. It's a very nice man. He is coming to me to present himself and propose to me, because that was in his power, to make some recording, so many as I wish. The previous difficulty with the theaters in Bulgaria put me in the situation of defense. But in the front of this young boy, my heart was open automatically. And then I tell him, listen, may I ask you to make only one recording? Why, he say, if I proposed you, man? In the Cathedral of Sofia, Alexander Nevsky, where I sang for the first time, and with the chorus of the same church. We don't make no contract. We say, yes, everything was all ready, and now you have in the front of you this wonderful recording.
So here you're singing with the choir of the cathedral with which you sang
Exactly.
as a youngster.
Exactly, and that made me really happy.
Music from the Slavonic Orthodox liturgy. Your recording of Evening Sacrifice with the choir of the Alexander Nevsky Cathedral, Sofia.
Yes.
Now, you're on this island. How well could you look after yourself? You're all on your own. Are you good with your hands?
With my hands?
Yes.
I'm good with my hands.
What are you going to live on? Have you done any fishing? Are you good at fishing?
I would like to fishing. I would like.
Would you try to escape from your island? Do you know anything about small boats?
The small boats are the passion of my wife, not mine. And I'm unfortunate that I never helped in this way my wife.
Yes. Well, I hope.
And she needed so much, because she's always close to me, and she's always on duty behind me.
Well, I hope she brings a small boat to come and fetch you back from your island.
That will be wonderful. Anyway.
Let's have another record. We've got two more. What next?
What next? This one, maybe.
Which is that?
The seasons.
The Four Seasons.
Yes.
Vivaldi.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Which season shall we have?
Springtime, I think.
Spring from Vivaldi's The Four Seasons, Herbert von Karajan conducting the Berlin Philharmonic Orchestra. And now we come to your last record. What's that?
I think it was Boris Godunov.
A part that means so very much to you. How many times have you sung Boris?
I think until now should be more than 450.
450?
Yes.
A very exhausting part, too. Which part shall we
It's
hear
exhausting, but after Boris Godunov, I am exhausted, not with the voice. I am exhausted of living this
scene shall we hear?
The last one, the death. When he called his son to let him know that he came immediately after him on the throne of the king because he is dying.
The Death of Boris from Boris Godunov. If you could take only one disc instead of 8, one of the records you've played, which would it be?
The duet between Tito Schipa and Totti Del Monte.
Right. And you're allowed to take one luxury to the island, one object of no use whatever, but pleasant to have with you.
I don't feel attraction for the luxury now.
You don't want a luxury?
No.
Oh, we're not going to force you. Would you like a book? You have already on the island a Bible and the works of Shakespeare. Would you like another book?
I let you the choice.
Oh, no, I don't know what kind of books you like to read.
Everyone.
It
will be a souvenir from you.
Well, is there a Bulgarian book that you would like? Is it the works of some Bulgarian poet or playwright?
Why not?
Who is your favorite Bulgarian poet?
Yavorov.
Yavorov.
He's a great Bulgarian poet and a great Bulgarian who loved his own country.
Right. You shall have his works, and thank you, Boris Christoff, for letting us hear your Desert Island discs.
Mr. Plumley, thank you. You was very sweet, very kind with me, and I apologize again. My terrible English
it's not
from time
perfect.
to time is unstable, but more of the time I don't know if you understand me well.
It's not perfect, but it's fascinating, Mr. Christoff.
I agree. Thank you very much,
Goodbye,
Mr. Plumley.
everyone.
Goodbye now.